everyone, it's me, Ella, and welcome back to another video. Now, this one was actually supposed to be a theatre vlog, but when I came home and reviewed some of the footage and tried to put it together, I realised that the vlog didn't quite turn out how I wanted it. So that means it is time for another theatre trip review video. My most recent theatre trip was to go and see the opening night performance of Madagascar The Musical at the Theatre Royal in Nottingham. It's just had its final performance there yesterday, and I don't know where the tour is headed to next. But I do know that there is only a small handful of tour stops left before the show concludes its run. Now, before I went to see the show, I had the opportunity to watch the original film. I highly enjoyed the film, in fact, much more than I was expecting to, which rather surprised me, and that got me very excited about seeing the stage version. It also allowed me to get to know the story and the characters and each of their qualities and their personality traits, which I think really helped me to understand what was going on and what was happening on stage, and sort of gave me a what to expect and a know before you go sort of thing, which really helped. Now, the film, in comparison to the stage version, there are a few minor adjustments and adaptations to make it suitable for a stage environment, but what they have chosen to adapt worked very well. Now, costumes is an interesting one, because the one that stood out to me the most costume wise was Melman the Giraffe, because what you've got is you've got the actor dressed in some sort of giraffe outfit, and then he's holding on to some form of stick, and on top of that stick is the giraffe's head. At the same time as the actor is speaking, you've got the giraffe head doing this with its mouth, which was a very clever way of bringing Melman to life on stage, I think. It was wonderful to see him brought to life on stage in that way, and a very clever use of puppetry, which I really liked, and that for me is what stood out to me costume wise. And also, at some points, I did find it funny, as it did make me laugh, which was nice. And something else while we're on the subject of puppets, there are 3 penguins in the film. I still don't remember their names, so you'll have to forgive me, but yes, there are 3 penguins in the film, and for some reason in the show there seems to be 4 of them. No idea why, but it does work. It does work just as well with 4 penguins. And I think they were very enjoyable to watch as well. All four of them were very enjoyable to watch. And that brings me on to probably the biggest moment in the whole show. Probably the most iconic song in the show. That iconic Madagascar song from the film, which is, of course, I Like to Move It. Now, King Julien, as soon as he mentioned it and broke into song, oh my word, I don't think I've ever seen an audience reaction happen so quickly. The whole audience was up on its feet, dancing and singing along, and that was just wonderful to be able to witness that. It seemed like a big ball of positive energy had just glowed into the theatre, and everybody was really enjoying themselves. Everybody was really interactive with the number, which I really enjoyed. And it was just wonderful to be able to witness that. And also, I think as well, with I Like to Move It being the big crowd pleaser that it is, and a song that most people know, or at least the majority of people do, that seems to be why it's so popular, and I think is partly the reason why, or mostly the reason why, the audience were up so quickly, because everybody knows it. And the choreography for that number as well, it actually, in fact, the whole number overall, it was just like a big party. I really enjoyed that moment. And yeah, I loved that moment in the show. If any particular moment was a standout, I would say it has to be that, because of the big reaction that particular song received from the audience. Very well received indeed, and the choreography was really well thought out. And of course, something that I have been desperate to mention in this review. If you know me, you'll probably know where this is going, but something that I have been desperate to mention in this review, of course, is Jarneia Richard-Noel as Gloria the Hippopotamus. Oh my goodness me. She was amazing. Now, Jarneia, up until I went to see the show, I hadn't seen her since the big Hampton Court 6 reunion, which was all the way back in June 2022, would you believe? So it was wonderful to see her 2 years down the line. That was amazing. It was wonderful to see her again. It really, really was. And I do hope to see her again sometime soon. Her performance as Gloria was absolutely incredible. I loved it. I loved her performance. So, before I close this review, I'd just like to give you an overview of seating and things like that. So, in terms of where I had been seated for the evening, I was in one of the wheelchair spaces at the very back of the theatre, as I had had the show booked since the beginning of September last year, And at the time I was on a bit of a budget because of Musical Con, and I sort of wanted to watch myself, which is why I ended up going for one of the spaces at the back. But a fantastic view, definitely a fantastic view, and great seats even though I was at the back. And also, just quickly, I would like to mention merchandise. There wasn't really that much there, but I did buy, if I can just grab it, I did buy the brochure for the show, which has lots of cast pictures in it and production shots. Now, there is a programme, but that is smaller and apparently contains much more information on the show, whereas this one that I've bought is more picture based, although it does contain the cast biographies. So that brings this Madagascar review to a satisfactory close. I highly enjoyed the production. It's just like a big party. If you're on the fence about it, I would urge you to go if it's coming anywhere near you. I would definitely urge you to go. But if you haven't seen the film, definitely watch that first. But yes, a brilliant production. I think it's just like a big party. And yes, 5 stars. Definitely a 5-star production. I loved it. And on that note, I shall see you very soon for another video. In fact, the near future, as I have literally just got back from a trip to London. So you'll have to keep an eye on my channel to see what I got up to down there. But that brings this review to a close, and I shall see you next time.